Anyway, listen to the roar of the crowd as the Indians take the field. Yes, sir, they love this club here in Cleveland.
Just a bit of a hoe. It's Katrina Porter.
You fucker. Anna Serene.
Welcome to Split Happens, everyone else.
Welcome to everybody except for Anna Serene.
Sorry. Each week, Katrina and I discuss a movie both of us love. However, only one of us gets to say anything good about the movie, and they are the pro of the episode, which means the other is the con and must attack it. Our one rule is the con only has to attack during the synopsis. And if they say anything good at all about the movie during that time, they incur a penalty and will have to say something really, really great about a movie they really, really don't want to say anything good about. And the pro gets to decide.
Well, they
movie.
correctly hate it. They hate it for reasons.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this week, as the pro, if I catch a rule break from Katrina, you're going to hear this sound.
I'm in a glass case of emotion!
Hey, Katrina Porter?
What?
You want to talk about this movie a little bit?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I'm going to strike this movie out whilst wearing silly glasses that apparently I don't need to read comics.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
if you're striking somebody out,
Yeah.
and there are glasses involved,
that you don't need.
just glasses,
Uh-huh.
I can't think of a single other movie except for 1989's Major League. Oh, I'm so excited.
Hey, I just want to say,
Oh,
I don't know what's going to happen in this. And I just realized I have 2 disclaimers.
oh no. All right.
Disclaimer number 1,
Play it.
I didn't get a button push in Field of Dreams.
Goddamn.
And I would just like you to acknowledge that right now.
You didn't get a button push and feel it.
I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen tonight because we went and got a margarita at a different place. Not because we don't love Acapulco, because we do. We just happened to be in a different part of town.
We did not have a margarita.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
The margarita we have at Acapulco is like, there's no need to say the ounces, but it's big.
Mm-hmm.
This was a small glass.
How strong was it?
Way.
I don't think you're going to get a button push.
Don't paradox me. I know
Yeah.
how this works.
What could a paradox be?
Here's my other disclaimer. This movie is chock full of terrible stereotypes about Native American people. As so many movies from the 80s and 90s are, it does have problematic things in it. If you listen to this podcast at all, you know I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and there are problematic things about that team. I don't do the tomahawk chalk when we go to the games. I don't like the headdresses that all the whiteys wear. I wish the name wasn't the Chiefs, although there are different reasons that it's called the Chiefs, and we can get into that, you know, if you want to message me. But I get the team I love has problematic things about it. But we also have Patrick Mahomes. Oh, that's not part of the disclaimer.
No.
But he's amazing. I picked a few things to mention as cons along those lines, but if I had gone with all of them, we would be here all night. We all know what they are. I just picked the ones that were most convenient for me when I didn't have anything else to type.
This is a difficult subject, but it is in a lot of 80s movies for sure. 70s, 80s. But yeah, this one seems particularly egregious just because they're called the Cleveland Indians. Before we get into the synopsis, this movie was written and directed by David Ward. He does many things. Sleeveless in Seattle, for instance.
Did you say Sleeveless in Seattle?
Nope. Sleepless in that city. And he wrote it. So thank you, David Ward.
Well, I love David Ward.
Me too. This movie had an $11 million budget, which is teeny, teeny, teeny tiny for a lot of the movies that we do.
Okay.
And it grossed $75 million. So it definitely did well, but not like, knock it out of the park.
Oh, God. This movie has such a huge cult following.
That's the thing with it. It's kind of strange. With critics and with money, it was not a success. With popularity, it is definitely successful. All of the cast members will say that. There is talk about another Major League movie. Yeah, I can see your face and that you're not very happy about that. Does it make a difference that every single cast member wants to come back and do it? They all want to do it. They loved making this.
Is it possible that all the people involved in this movie have some time on their hands and wouldn't mind a little pocket change?
No. They all just enjoyed the experience. Can I tell you a little bit about David Ward real quick?
Yeah, you already said he did Sleepless in Seattle, so one of the best movies ever.
True. He grew up in Cleveland.
Oh.
So he was really familiar with having a losing team. It was. He actually thought, if he was going to see the Indians win in his lifetime, he would just have to make a movie where they won. Which is what he did.
Which is not true, because Cleveland has won since... Cleveland won... No, Houston won.
I don't know. You're just saying names of cities to me.
Houston Astros won when they cheated, I think.
This was filmed in Milwaukee?
So not Cleveland?
No, it was cheaper, and they were using it at the time for training or something. They couldn't use it. Major League Baseball pointed out that they would need their cooperation with this, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And also this would be, the guy that made this said this would be impossible to make today. Not for the reasons that you mentioned earlier.
Oh, just because there's so much money in professional sports, it would cost $1 billion?
No, because getting approval to use the Yankees as the enemies in MLB would be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
They loved Milwaukee. Everybody loved there. They loved making it. They did a promotion for everybody to come in, and they had 27,000 people in the stands. It's pretty incredible. And everybody had a very, very good time. Do you know what Milwaukee reminds me of?
Wayne's World.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And Alice Cooper is from there?
Yes. And he's like...
In fact, isn't Milwaukee an Indian name? Yes, Pete, it is. Actually, it's pronounced Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land.
So usually when there's a big cast in a movie, I talk trivia about them when they first show up in the movie during the synopsis. I'm going to change that a little bit and talk about 3 of the stars before we get into the synopsis.
Okay.
Tom Berenger. Mm-hmm. He got top billing. This is 1, 2, 3 as far as top billing.
Okay.
He's Jake Taylor. He did have some experience in not Major League, Little League.
Okay. Basically the same.
Apologies. He definitely had never played professionally. And he wasn't quite as great. And he would say that. The guy that they brought in was a former baseball player. I think his name is Steve Yeager. I didn't write it down.
Okay. That doesn't sound familiar, but I don't know as much about past baseball players as I do other sports.
Well, he was brought in. He's actually the stand-in for a lot of Tom Berenger's scenes. Like when, basically if Tom Berenger had a mask on and he was throwing a ball, I think his name is Steve Yeager.
So the squatting, basically.
He's also the third base coach.
Oh, okay. I remember from the movie.
Right. And he kind of held a training camp for all of the cast members before the movie started filming. Tom Berenger said he loves this movie and that he cries every time he watches it. He says it's got a lot of heart and he really loves it. Next, let's talk about Tiger Blood Adonis DNA Charlie Sheen, a.k.a. Wild Thing, a.k.a. Rick Vaughn.
I would just like to point out, which you will soon see, I don't say anything about how fucking crazy he is. Because mental health...
Oh, in real life?
In real life. Because he clearly has a mental illness or mental illnesses, which I don't make fun of. He's not okay in real life. He's got some shit. So I say nothing about his real personal life.
He loved the script. He said it was like catnip. No, he said it wasn't like catnip. He says it was like crack.
Oh, well,
Right, I know. He said he was going to go to a premiere, and he got the script in the limo, and then he was late to the premiere because he was just reading the script. He couldn't put it down. He loved it. But now he actually was very good at baseball.
Okay, I can see that.
He has a very, very, he had a good fastball. I mean, he's not as fast as they made it seem, but they said that he was in the upper 80s quite a lot.
Okay.
He played baseball in high school enough to be like talent scouted for KU.
What?
He got a scholarship to KU.
The home of the Jayhawks?
Correct.
The home of the 2022 National Championship men's basketball team?
That's the one. The other person I wanted to talk about really very quickly, because he got third billing, is Corbin Birdson. Would you have guessed that he got third billing?
Because he had already done LA Law at this point.
He was currently doing LA Law.
Okay.
Right.
With Harry Hamlin. Rawr.
Yeah. All the actors had to do tryouts, and he would not. He was shooting something else. It's kind of hilarious how close to a lot of the players, how close they are to their own personalities.
Oh.
And he happens to be one of them.
He's a dickhead?
He wouldn't try out. He's like, trust me, I can play.
God.
Yeah. He said that he wasn't a good, he actually admitted that he was not a good hitter though. Corbin Burton said. And that he was supposed to like hit a line drive between second and third. And he actually did it in one thing. And it surprised himself and he fucked up the shot. He blew the shot and like pissed everybody off because he forgot to run.
I think he was maybe only shown at bat once, maybe twice in this whole movie because he's always fucking up fielding the ball.
Yeah, it sounds like that actually is pretty accurate. So I'll talk about the other players as they're introduced, like characters, I guess, as they're introduced.
Hey, Anna.
Yo.
Dirty Ho.
Yeah?
Play the fucking song.
You got it.
Let the games begin.
This movie begins
No.
with...
Doesn't matter what you say.
How do you know?
Because this movie starts with a goddamn Randy Newman song and a Greek statue.
Joke's on you. Because I said this movie begins with Randy Newman.
Chaos right from the beginning. Is that in your notes?
No, it isn't. It's the movie begins with Randy Newman.
Follow-up question.
Sure.
Is it a baseball song?
No, it's about Cleveland. Do you know what the song is?
Who cares? It's a baseball movie.
You're going to care because it could actually be a con.
I care. What is it?
The song he's singing is Burn On, and it's an ode to the infamous day in Cleveland when the river was so incredibly polluted. They had a real hard time with pollution. It fucking caught on fire. The river did. The river made of water caught on fire because of all the pollution. And the song is called Burn On.
Wow. Well, I would even take goofy-ass Randy Newman singing it if it mentioned men, balls, and bats.
Do you know he's written a bunch of like songs that you didn't realize he wrote?
What?
He looks so annoyed.
I am annoyed because I have something else to say, but go ahead.
He wrote Mama Told Me Not to Come. He wrote that, and it is as bananas as you think it will be.
Yeah, because that's a good song.
His is different.
Mama told me not to come. Mama said it ain't a way to have fun.
We meet Rachel Phelps. She is played by Margaret Whitten.
This bitch can't open a door for herself.
No, she's a bitch. She's the new owner of the Cleveland Indians, or maybe she was already, but her husband died. I don't know. But she has some ideas for some changes to the team, including loading the team with not such great players because she wants the team to move to Miami. So basically, they have a clause in their contract with the city. Attendance has to fall below $800,000 for the year. So if they play badly enough, she gets to move. Sounds nice for her.
Listen, I've never owned a baseball team or any people.
So glad you clarified that.
Right. I haven't. But I'm pretty sure this is not how you build a baseball team. Like, I just dragged some musty assholes off the mound. Good luck.
That's exactly what she was doing that on purpose.
I know, but I don't think you do that.
She Ted Lasso'd this team before Ted Lasso was made. This movie is basically Ted Lasso.
No. She also carries around negative news articles about herself. That's not good self-esteem.
It is not.
Don't do that, people.
I'm so glad you brought that up. That definitely gives some insight into why she is the way she is.
She's a bitch, dude.
What a tough life she's leading. You know, she's being constantly attacked in the newspapers. That must be really tough.
Her hair is attacking my eyeballs.
Her hair is beautiful.
Really? What do you call that hairstyle?
I call it the 80s.
It's like Ursula. I'm gonna steal your voice.
You know what it looks like now?
What?
Nothing, 'cause she died of cancer a few years ago.
No, she didn't. I can see by your face.
No, she really did die
I
of
can
cancer.
see by your face that you're telling the truth. And
While she was alive, though, she was a huge baseball fan. She had season tickets to the Yankees. And she actually said, I think it was Tom Berenger she said it about, that she felt like she could hit better than him. That's probably true. It sounds like he wasn't very good. But she loved it. Next is Lou Brown to manage the team, and he's played by James Gammon. Nancy Gammon, the wife of him, formerly him, also cancer.
everyone's dead in this movie. That's a con.
This is like Dragon Slayer all over again.
Well, they smoke too much.
She said that, I'll just say Lou, James Gammon, who played him, said it was his favorite movie he's ever acted in.
How many other movies has he acted in?
She said he has a career spanning over 40 years, and Lou Brown was his most cherished role. At his funeral, a Lou Brown jersey hung at the podium.
Okay, well, Ty says that he's the WGP, the world's greatest psychiatrist, and I go, of course you are, honey. That's what you do when you're married to somebody.
But nobody's giving him like a coffee mug saying best manager played in a movie. He just himself loved this movie so much.
According to his wife.
Yeah, and that they hung his baseball jersey or whatever at his funeral.
Okay, they're cheap. They couldn't pay for decorations.
Wow. I'm going to move on to my next thing, and you get to sleep with that tonight. Next we get Serrano. Pedro Serrano. He's played by Dennis Haysbert. And we know him for this, obviously. Most people would know him either as the president on 24 or the Allstate guy.
Can we talk about the fact that he's apparently from Cuba in this movie and was actually born in California?
He did it, but I mean, Dennis Haysbert did a delightful job. Speaking of doing a job, this was his first movie role. He said, he was quoted as saying, "I don't think there was ever a closer cast. We hung out together, we went to bars together, we were a team." James Gammon specifically.
Well, quit saying everyone had cancer and they got along. Can we talk about Corbin? What's his name? I already hate that guy.
Yeah, he's Roger Dorn.
Ugh.
And he's a bit of an ass.
Well, I call him Corbin, what's his name, through my entire notes, and I refuse to change it.
You could just call him Roger Dorn. That's his character name.
No, I will not. Why is he bringing his golf clubs on the baseball field?
Because he brings him everywhere. He's one of those douches.
That's stupid.
Yeah, of course. He's vain and obnoxious.
Well, if he was vain and obnoxious, he would have someone carrying his clubs.
And he does it so that he can have so he can provide the hats for Serrano's bats.
Well, he's a moron.
Because he's into voodoo. Up next, I have Wesley Snipes.
Me too.
And he is Willie Mays Hayes. He is very, very new to acting. His first role, we already talked about this in the Blade episode, which you did. And you did a fantastic job with trivia. Talk about an episode with a lot of trivia.
Thank you. And like 27 thirst traps.
Yeah. I mean, you were like at death's door with that cold, and you still managed to thirst over everyone.
That's for you, Wesley.
His first movie was Wildcats with Goldie Hawn.
Okay. I do like that movie.
He had never really played baseball, but the shot of him going over the outfield wall to make that grab was really him.
Okay. I've got something to say about that. Why do they all look terrified to shake the black guy's hand? How you can treat Blade like that?
Wait, they're all terrified to shake his hand?
Yeah, when he gets out of the car and he walks over to him, he like starts to try to shake their hand and they're all like, ugh.
They're all like, "Who are you? You're not on our list."
No, that's not what they said.
That's almost exactly what they said. Hayes, I didn't see a Hayes in the list. Who is this guy?
I saw Fear.
So I will give you a con because I'm generous.
Okay.
The funny thing is Wesley.
Blade.
Wes.
Blade.
He was a bit of a, he was a speed demon.
Yeah.
And he is not actually fast at all. And that's why they always show him in slow motion.
Oh, he's not a fast runner?
No.
That looks stupid. I could tell.
Could you?
I could tell. Wait.
No. Go on, please.
They didn't do a good job making it look like he was fast. Because I could tell they were only doing slow motion because he's really slow. You can tell.
You can tell.
Yeah, I can tell.
Wow. How can you tell such a thing?
Because I watch people run all day long.
You have like run instincts? Is that like dirt instincts?
Yes, of course.
The pitcher, Eddie Harris, is played by Chelsea Ross. He says, I was 45 and it had been 20 years since I had thrown a ball.
Okay, well, I didn't know he said that, but I am offended that he said at the ripe old age of 45, he could still throw a baseball.
What's the age of people that are generally
Who
still
was
in the
holding
MLB?
his walker?
Who's the oldest person in the MLB?
Well, baseball players can be older than other sports because a lot of times, I'm being dead serious.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times they're running and stuff, but a lot of times they're standing still also.
Sure.
And if you're like a relief pitcher, I don't know, that one guy for the Mets, how old is he?
Cologne?
Yeah.
He's up there in age, but this guy's not a relief pitcher. He pitches the entire game. He's their main pitcher, and it's not like he's just been on the team for quite some time. They acquired him. So if you, as a fan, were looking at the new acquisitions of the Royals, for instance, and you saw that, what did we say, 45?
I remember
They got a 45-year-old player as the new pitcher. You'd be like, what the fuck?
It hurt my feelings. That's all I'm saying. This new trivia I learned.
I'm so sorry that you had that experience. And then we've got, of course, Rick Vaughn.
He looks ridiculous.
Because of the hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought so too. He hated having that hair.
Well, I
Hated
agree with the real person. Corbin, what's his name, is immediately a dick. He's like, looks like we've got another freak show, says the guy wearing all white in the desert.
You can't wear all white in the desert? Excuse me, I watched Lawrence of Arabia. Of course you can.
Arabia?
What is it?
Arabia?
What does Arabia mean? Anything?
That makes me think Mom, what's Arabia?
Oh, dear God. What the heck is a rim job? Oh, why, that's when you put your legs behind your head and have someone lick your ass.
Margarita.
This movie would have been way better if the voodoo guy hit Corbin, what's his name, with a bat. This movie should be called Missed Opportunities with Silly Hair.
My point stands. Lawrence of Arabia, I almost fucking did it again, was wearing all white. So it's not unusual to wear white in the desert. Actually, they do it all the time. What the fuck are you talking about?
It looks ridiculous.
You're acting crazy now. I think, and so did Aladdin. He wore that too when he was Prince Ali Babwa. That evening, the guards are very respectful and not like making sure anybody else is disturbed. They take Maze Hayes, Willie Maze Hayes. He's Maze Hayes.
Okay.
From his bed, and they just bring the whole bed outside, which was really, really convenient. And he's such a deep sleeper.
Where's Blade's sword and where's Whistler?
He hasn't gotten to those yet. First, he had to learn baseball. It actually was really convenient that they put him outside because then that made him closer to where he needed to show off his running speed.
Convenient.
Yeah.
That he slept all through the first part of...
Even gunshots. Pew, pew.
Not the guys yelling or hitting the balls with bats.
Some people are deep sleepers. It's amazing. Unfortunately, his batting is not as strong. But Rick Vaughn, wild thing, shows him how well he can pitch.
Wait. The guy with the shitty knees is the catcher.
Yeah.
That's
This
ridiculous.
is a real ragtag group.
There is no way with a guy with completely blown knees can be the catcher for, what is it, 161 games or something like that in baseball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You know who says so? Rachel, the owner, that specifically put him on the list because she wants the team to fail.
He physically couldn't do it.
I mean, he can, you know what? Of course he can. He can go on his knees like you're talking to a child, or you're making an impression of a small child, or gonna propose to someone, or you're on your knees because you're about to give a blowy.
The manager pisses on Corbin what's-his-name contract?
Yeah.
Well, that's a con. I can't piss on demand.
You're not a man.
Well, thank you. That's a con.
You want to be a man?
I want to be able to piss on demand if I need to piss on someone's stuff to teach them a lesson.
Work on your bladder control then. Sounds like he's got it figured out. Serrano can hit the shit out of that ball, as long as it's fast. And he has a shrine for Jabu, the talisman.
Statue?
A statue. He has this. You're in good hands with Jabu.
Oh, God. I'm going to ask Jobu to take the stupidity out of this movie.
Good luck with that. Hey, Katrina.
What?
Guess what it's time for?
What?
A montage.
No.
Uh-huh.
No. This red scarf and the locker thing to tell someone they didn't make the team seems really, really cruel to me.
It's just a piece of paper.
But okay, but it looks like a red scarf, and that's weird. But it's also mean.
What do you mean? Sorry, take it up with sports.
That's not how they do it in sports.
Yes, they do.
I know the history of sports, and I know they take you out for a steak dinner, and they say better luck next time, and they give you a job doing important things.
Anyway, time for a montage. We get to see how bad that ragtag group of players are, and they can only go up from there. And then Dorn, the one that you think is a prick face asshole man, right? He plays a KATRINA level prank on Vaughn.
How dare you? I put this in my notes.
Yeah.
This is not, I don't refer to myself in the third person. This is not a me prank. My pranks are funny, cheeky. This was not a mischievous prank. This was an evil, I am a dickhead prank.
Of course he's a dickhead, but I think he was going for mischievous and cheeky. He thought it'd be funny, but unfortunately Vaughn does not have my level-headedness, and he handles it not so great.
The Cleveland fans talk like they're from Brooklyn. Who are these fucking guys?
Yeah, but who are they? So you're saying, let me ask you this.
What?
Are you suggesting that somebody from Brooklyn can't move to Cleveland and start a new life?
Well, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Why would someone from Brooklyn move to Cleveland? Give me 3 reasons that are real.
Sure.
Okay.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're big musicians, fans.
Only they had music in New York. Continue.
They like polluted rivers.
Fresh out of pollution in New York.
And they love cheaper housing.
Reminds me of that scene in that movie We Can't Do Because It's Problematic that I love so much, You've Got Mail. I sell cheap books.
So sue me.
So sue me.
Well, now the team is all set. That's great. And Maze Hayes and Vaughn and Jake go to a restaurant.
Before that,
Yeah.
what's his name? What's Creaky McPherson?
Jake Taylor?
Jake Taylor. Okay. Shouldn't he save his knees for an actual game instead of dicking around on the baseball field?
Yeah, he should. Guys are weird.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about guys who are. Go ahead and go to what you're saying about the restaurant.
Sure, they go, and I think that Rick Vaughn is especially funny in this scene.
What bank does Vaughn go to that makes him think wearing a tie with a cut-off leather vest with no shirt makes him look like a banker?
Because he's never been in a bank. Jake sees his ex-wife having dinner with another man, and uh-oh.
Oh, Jake is so charming.
Yeah, he has a healthy conversation with her because they went through couples therapy.
Or he tricks her into leaving her date and then threatens her until she gives him her number.
He doesn't threaten her.
He's
Doesn't
like,
sound
I'm
he's
not
held a gun to her, like a knife to her throat. Like, give me your fucking number, bitch.
He's like, I'm not leaving until you give me your number.
She could just say, great, stay here all night then, and then walk off. That's what you would have done.
Yeah, there's probably no chance that this fucker would just follow her around all over the place.
Probably not. Lynn is played by Renee Russo.
Mm-hmm.
This is also her first movie.
Well, who cares?
You should. She's brand spanking new. She was a model before this. It's really neat. Hey, it's time for the first game, though.
This is quite the speech the manager is giving to the team before their first game.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone thinks you suck and you should go shoot yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
The local press seems to think we'd save everyone a lot of time and trouble if we just went out and shot ourselves.
That's what they think. That's what the papers say. So let's prove them wrong, boys. There's nothing that gets people motivated like proving people wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I know. We do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guess what time it is?
What?
Time for Bob Uecker. And he plays announcer Harry Doyle. I want you to tell me how bad Bob Uecker is in this movie.
He's bad. He says that Vaughn was a juvenile delinquent in the off-season, and if he's a juvenile, then he is too young for this team.
He was too young, and now he's old enough. He served his time. He did his dime.
Mm-mm.
Can I tell you a little bit about Bob Uecker?
Go ahead.
Bob Uecker was an MLB player for 6 years. He played on, I didn't write it down because he was on like 4 or 5 teams.
Okay.
He's the radio announcer in this. He was the radio announcer for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Wait, he was on 4 or 5 teams in 6 years?
Yeah.
So he was
great.
real good.
No, he stopped. Obviously not. I mean, he was good enough to get on up the pipe.
Good enough.
Yeah, good enough. He did have a script, but they told him you can just fuck the script.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, do whatever you want. He's been the announcer for the Milwaukee Brewers for 52 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's still doing it. He is the second longest continuous tenure of like Major League Baseball announcers.
Oh, was the Harry Carey guy?
Nope. He trails only the Kansas City Royals broadcaster Denny Matthews.
Oh, Denny Matthews, who's still doing it.
He is. He's been doing it since 1969.
Listening to Denny Matthews is hilarious because he has a very slow cadence and he'll shit on your team and you don't even realize he's shitting on them. And it is so funny. Like even when he shits on the Royals, it's hysterical.
It's really neat.
Listen, I'm going to go on a small rant.
Go on.
Well, I can say that trivia is interesting trivia.
Thank you.
That's interesting trivia. You know how I know that this is not a real baseball game?
How?
I want you to tell me one time in this whole movie where we see a mustard relish ketchup race. Do we all know that the race is rigged and that red bitch ketchup gets the best athlete and occasionally relish gets to win and that poor mustard is always in last? Of course we do. But it's tradition. And I say, better luck next time, mustard old chap. This movie's the worst.
How is that Bob Uecker's fault?
It's not Bob Uecker's fault. It's
like
this
you're saying it's Bob
movie's
Uecker's
fault.
It sounds like you're saying it's Bob Uecker's fault.
No. It's David Ward's.
But did they do that anywhere else in other stands besides the KC Royals?
Yeah, it was 1, 2, 3. Literally everywhere else.
Really?
Yes.
You know where they don't do it?
Where?
Cleveland.
Well, now we know why they haven't won shit.
Yeah. They got to get that ketchup mustard relish race. I love the guys in the stands in this because one of them is kind of me with sports.
The guys from Brooklyn?
They're not from Brooklyn. The guy that's actually, you mean the guy that's like these guys are fucking terrible. Those guys? Mm-hmm. Those are just like workers or whatever.
That's right. There's a steel worker.
And that was the janitor from Scrubs, and he was hilarious on that show. I like it because, and now I do like baseball quite a lot. So, I mean, I am weird about sports. That's true. I love hockey, obviously. I love going to baseball games. So I am familiar with how baseball works. I'm not going to, But a lot of times with sports, I'm kind of clueless. And I really like going to the games because of the singing and the, like, spectatorship. And I also say stupid shit like...
No way, too high, too high. Too high? What does that mean, too high? Too high. Oh, God.
Anna?
Yeah?
What's another thing you like about going to baseball games?
Hot dog mustard relish?
Yes, you do. Because everybody does. It's not David Ward.
I love so much about going to the baseball games.
I've said it before. You're fun to go to a game with.
Yay!
Yep.
Well, Jake
Is a Class A stalker.
goes to a library. That's nice. Mm-hmm. And that's where Lynn, his ex-wife, is working.
Where he follows around gaslighting her.
Mm-hmm. He does. He needs some growth, it sounds like, in this movie.
Jake is the good guy in this movie. And he's a stalker.
He's going to learn some things about himself, too.
Oh my God, he doesn't ask questions about himself.
But he's going to learn them all the same. This scene right here was Renee Russo's first scene she's ever filmed as an actress.
I'm surprised she just didn't keep doing movies about being stalked.
Me too. She's slamming in this.
That
She does a
poor
good
lady.
job. Mm-hmm. She's really believable.
Oh, she made me sad about libraries.
What? Nuh-uh. No, she didn't.
This scene made me sad about books. I didn't read a book for a while after I watched this movie again.
And what would you consider a while?
Like an hour?
I'm so sorry that you had this. Do you need time to process?
No, I had an hour.
So Rachel, the team owner, feels the team isn't losing enough to come in last place. And says they're coddling them too much. And that means that they fly on a not-so-perfect plane. Totally fine with seeing it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Didn't scare you at all?
Mm-mm.
What about the next day when we got back on a plane to travel home after watching this again?
I don't recall. I remember being really calm about it.
You took like 12 Dramamine.
Calmly.
Okay, the manager calls Vaughn into his office.
Mm-hmm.
He suddenly realizes after being around him for months that he might have an eyesight problem, and then they instantly come up with a pair of glasses that just happen to be his prescription.
Okay, so obviously you want to talk about the vision issues with Vaughn.
Right?
You don't know how long it took them to get those glasses. They had somebody go. They had a gopher.
The game that day.
That was some LensCrafter shit.
You want to talk about Teepee Talk?
Teepee Talk?
Yeah, that's the name of his radio show. Teepee Talk.
Bob Euchre's?
Mm-hmm.
It's the Cleveland Indians. That's what the 80s were like, I say calmly.
Mm-hmm.
Mace Hayes is very clever. And he gives Jake some excellent advice on how to get closer to Lynn.
Yeah, Jake, the good guy, stalks Lynn back to her apartment to gaslight her some more.
I think this is exactly how things are supposed to be done, and I'm pretty sure this is how it is in couples therapy. They use this movie as an example. So Jake follows Lynn to a place that he thinks is hers, but it's actually her fiance's. Mm-hmm. He's having a little soiree, and the group engages Jake in some polite conversations. And I'm not going to lie, Lynn's fiance is a bit of a trash can. And then the scene's over.
We're short on time. He went to the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
He stopped.
Yep.
He left.
Yeah.
Went to a restaurant. Got a beer.
Thought about what he was going to say to her.
Thought it over. And still thought this was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Just goes on inside.
Sounds like he was fighting any rash thoughts. He wanted to make sure that he processed correctly. And he went to go think through everything.
Bullet points. Lynn's hair looks crazy. All the men in this movie are competing to see who's the biggest dickhead, and we are all losing. This dinner party is more awkward than the dinner party episode on The Office.
Can you not do that? You know I have soft teeth. How could you say that?
Wait, what?
Again, I barely got it out the first time. Another one of the other dickheads says to Lynn, didn't you used to be an athlete?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, loser.
She's no athlete.
He didn't say you used to be a professional athlete. She's still an athlete. She still runs and swims.
Does she? It sounds like she doesn't have any time for that. She's
hiding.
Had all of her focus on books. You saying that she shouldn't put all of her focus on books? I guess some people like to read.
I think she's putting all of her...
You know what I like about Evasion?
What?
Rachel shows up to the locker room to talk with the team and explain to them how tight money is. And then that's all that happens.
No, she goes in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
She touches the only black person's hair, which you don't do. And then she says, what are they now, a bunch of foxtrots? And everyone knows what foxtrots means.
She doesn't say foxtrots. She says, we don't say gay slurs, and that includes the
P one?
The panzanella salad.
Okay, yeah. She asked them if they were panzanella salads.
Jake spots Lynn in the stands at his next game, and she invites him back to her place for coffee.
No. There's a security guy outside the stadium after the game, and he's like, hey, cop, I need to make sure my ex gets home safely. Can I take a random car? And he's like, sure, great.
Yeah, he lets him take the company car.
Yeah, he's like, okay, great. And then, hey, guess what? We get another baseball song. Not.
Okay, so you're telling me, with a straight face,
yeah,
with your vampire eyes,
yeah,
if Salvador Perez,
yeah,
went up and says, I need a car real quick, like mine's not, somewhere else, like I need a car, they wouldn't do everything in their power to get whatever Salvador Perez needs.
Yes.
Well, that's what they did for him. So he gets that car.
Do not suggest that Salvi would stalk someone, and also they would have no goddamn idea what he was saying. Maybe she leaves her door unlocked?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, no, she invited him up for coffee.
No, she didn't.
She's newly single, and she wants to have an intimate relationship with Jake in a healthy adult way.
None of that's true. She leaves her door unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I'm getting engaged in the fall, so she's not broken up.
She's getting married in the fall.
She's getting married in the fall. Okay. So they're not broken up. And then the most egregious thing, he just got finished playing a baseball game, probably for 4 hours. Did he take a shower?
He came over to her place to take a shower.
Do you know how bad he smelled? No, he bangs her against the wall after she chastises him about being a cheater.
Maybe that is a kink for her. She clearly likes having a baseball player.
She works in a library. She wants people to bathe.
No, some people are like that, where it's like somebody's like super demure and like, kind of, really shy or whatever, but then you find out that they're a fucking freak and they're a dominatrix or something. Love is love. Fuck you.
Well, I hope she doesn't like her underwear, because she leaves him alone in her apartment. He's definitely stealing all that shit to go smell later.
She likes it. He likes it. She likes it. They're healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie tells Lou that Charlie's Rachel's, second in command, I guess.
The Higgins of this.
Yes, the Higgins of this. I'm glad you, the Higgins of this tells Lou, the manager, Rachel's plan for the team, which leads Lou to motivate the team more, and now they're in second place.
No. Yeah. Lou, he goes and tells the whole team. And then Stocky Creekers stands up and he goes, I guess there's only one thing left to do. Win the whole fucking thing.
God, people really slimmed that to-do list down. That's nice.
So everybody quit playing like shit, because we didn't have any motivation before, but now we got to undress a cardboard of a big old battle axe.
This is literally what the KC Royals did whenever they won the World Series.
Not. Selby would never do that.
I guess he would.
No, he wouldn't.
Catchers do that. That's what happens. He would stand up and say, go team, go, rah, rah, rah. Yes, he would. He'd be like, and they're like, yeah, exactly. Well, boy, oh boy, are the Clevelandites, Clevelanders, Clevelandanters, proud of their team. And Dorn's wife is home watching the team on TV. What?
You think so? During the underdogs suddenly winning games montage, there is a scene where Vaughn strikes out who?
A guy.
A Royals player.
Yeah.
It ruined the montage for me. Now I don't like montages anymore.
Do you?
I don't.
What if it was a montage of the KC Royals?
I watched that after this movie.
Now do you like montages again?
I do, but not because of this movie. It's because of the Royals brought it back for me. There's also a headline that says, Indians scalp White Sox.
It was 1989. People were racist and stereotyping as shit.
Well, I have 4 sentences basically left.
Well, Dorn's wife is home watching the team on TV, and she spots her husband with another woman.
He's a cheater?
I know, it's weird. He's kind of a douche, and they made that clear, and I'm so glad that he plays this so well. And it leads her to seduce Vaughn, and he is the worst possible person that she could have chosen.
You know who's also the worst possible person? Everyone in this movie.
Really?
Everyone's assholes.
Everyone's an asshole.
The good guy is the guy who stalks himself, and he creaks. He's not even good at it. You can hear him coming from 3 blocks away.
I am personally offended by that. Also, my knees hurt because we've been sitting for a while.
Just let me know when we get to that great catch again that Willie made.
Yeah. Do you have any ice packs? Because of Vaughn's not so great record against the Yankees, though, he won't be the starting pitcher.
Oh, the Yankees.
Yeah.
That's who they're playing?
Yep.
You know what this game is?
Baseball.
Playoff game. You know how that works?
That there's more than one game?
No. This, I think, would be like the equivalent of a wild card game. And the team who has the better record, which in this instance would be the Yankees, would be the home team. But in this movie, where facts don't matter, it's played in Cleveland.
Well, I am personally surprised and shocked, being a sports person, that you don't remember that in 89 and actually 79 and 69 and 59, every time they're going to go to a new decade, it's reverse rules.
And where do they play it at? They play it at the other team's stadium?
Yep.
Okay, well, I have a follow-up question.
Yep.
When Willie made that great catch that you mentioned?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does it say Minnesota Twins?
Because they're supportive of other teams.
In the stadium.
Well, the stadium was, there's no money. So they had to borrow seats and boards and stuff from other teams. There's not money. She's really penny pinching. Some people have to do that in money bags.
Did the announcer just say he hit the ball out of the reservation?
Possibly, I don't know. Is that when Serrano? Okay. So, can I tell you that Dennis Haysbert, because, Serrano ties up the game with a massive homer. And shockingly, Dennis Haysbert said this was his favorite scene to film.
What?
Because apparently he actually can hit the shit out of that ball. And Harris, the pitcher, the old man Harris, loads at 45-year-old old man Harris. How'd that make you feel? Bad?
Not good.
Okay. He loads the bases in the 8th. So Lou brings in Vaughn. But unfortunately, Haywood, that motherfucker from the Yankees, is up to bat. And he's actually a real baseball player. There's 3 for real baseball players in this. He's one, and the pitcher at the end, Duke. He's a real baseball player, and then also the one that trained them all.
You can tell by the bad acting which ones are real.
Well, have you seen SNL whenever a sports person hosts?
Yeah, Travis Kelce just did it. He killed it.
Historically, though, when athletes are and try to act, they don't do great.
Couple of things. There are no people of color in the stands. But you know what they do have? They have a whole gaggle of women dancing on the visiting team's dugout.
Oh, you're welcome, dugout.
You're not allowed to do that. If you were allowed to do that, then I would have met Salvi already.
Is that against the rules?
Yes.
Welcome to 89 reverse year. So Vaughn throws 3 consecutive fastballs, each one faster than the last, which brings them to the 9th inning. Because he struck out Haywood, the guy he's been trying to strike out all season.
Okay, well, not to be nitpicky, but pitchers in real MLB, they were numbers 10, 11, 12, and 14, and Vaughn is wearing number 99.
Nerd.
They don't wear 13 because it's unlucky.
I learned something today.
Okay, that's not completely true, but most of the time...
Is that a lie? You goddamn bitch.
Not completely.
You goddamn bitch.
No, It is true that most of the time they were lower numbers. Some were the high numbers.
Mm-hmm. All they need is one run. And Maze Hayes gets on base, steals second, and then Jake comes up to bat and goes for something. It's a little sneaky. Okay. A little sneaky. We're all a little sneaky sometimes.
Watch this. Taylor is pointing to the bleachers. He's calling his shot. Taylor bunts.
Shit.
The brass balls on this monkey.
He's like, I hope Lynn is up there because that's where I'm going to find you. Sneaky. Like
It's neat. It was a really neat play that he made.
You're not getting me at the end.
Look, KATRINA over there. And then the music drops.
Not baseball music.
And the crowd goes wild. Whoa, he's fucking pointing. And that allows Maze Hayes to score. And the Indians win. And everyone's happy. And Dorn punches Vaughn, who then helps him back up because men are weird. And then Jake sees Lynn in the stands. And she really is newly single now. She doesn't have a ring anymore. And everyone gets a happy ending. Except for Rachel, the owner, of course.
And this movie ends with a baseball song? No.
What would you consider a baseball song?
Balls, bats, men, ketchup, mustard, relish, running.
Everybody knows balls, bat, men, ketchup, mustard, relish.
Right? Feels good, doesn't it?
You were fucking killing that beat.
Now we got Randy Newman singing about some smog or fire or whatever.
With the bats and baseballs.
Ugh.
Wait, Randy Newman sounds a little deaf.
What is wrong with you?
I can't do accents.
Is this over?
That is the end of the movie.
Yeah.
No tricks, no dicks.
It's done. Yes. It's over now.
No button pushes a bear.
God, again. Can I tell you, there was actually an alternate ending for this.
Whoa.
And the test audience just didn't like it. That Rachel, the owner, the bitch, throughout this whole thing, that she knew that they just didn't have any money. The attendance was bad. She thought that it was like a reverse psychology. She thought that it would actually motivate the team to win if she gave them a villain to like root against. And audiences were like, boo, she's a woman. She's the villain.
Of course, that's what they thought. That's a con. And then also, I'd like to go back to being in the thing.
But it's over.
And then also, this movie only had like kind of a good idea, and then Ted Lasso came and made it way better.
Really?
Yeah.
Major League was a kind of good idea.
Compared to Ted Lasso. There's one Major League. Well, there's 3. But there's also 3 seasons of Ted Lasso so far. But there's more episodes. There's only 1 episode per movie.
Well, you're trying to make a Major League 4, and this movie is a fucking classic.
That movie is going to be like Cocoon, the baseball movie. They're all at least 45 in real life now.
Randy Newman's going to sing a song about osteoporosis.
Drink your milk, everybody.
Well, that's the end of the movie. Yippee! I fucking love Major League.
For real, right? There's no
outtakes.
outtakes.
No, it's out.
Okay.
It's done.
The fucking end where Creekers holds his hand up, like calling where the ball's gonna go, is badass.
Yeah, it was.
It's a badass way to end the movie.
And the crowd goes fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So they said that the pitcher coming out when Vaughn comes out to Wild Thing or whatever, that was very rarely done before, and that caused a lot of exposure to that sort of thing happening. And now it always happens.
Wait,
like when the relief pitcher comes out, or actually it's kind of when a lot of players come out, but when the relief pitcher comes out, is that the end, or the closer? When the closer comes out, they have their own big song.
All the players have their own songs now.
Right, they all do now, but it just wasn't being done, and it's kind of because of this movie. And Yeah, but I didn't love the relationship between Jake and Lynn.
Holy shit, man.
Every single bit of it, I was like, this guy needs a restraining order so bad. For real.
Yeah.
Jake should have been the one playing for the California Penal League.
No shit.
I really love this movie. I mean, I love baseball. I can't wait to do the next two.
So we did super sentimental with Field of Dreams. And then we did fun, Major League.
Yeah.
What I love about the next movie we're doing, besides the fact that I'm the pro and you're screwed, we're doing A League of Their Own.
Oh, no.
Which,
I'm gonna cry.
Well, ostensibly, it should be what, is called a chick movie. Everybody loves this movie. No matter what your gender, people love this movie. And I love that. I love that it's so good that there isn't anyone that can be like, oh, that movie sucks. And if you don't think there is bitchin' trivia, get ready to have your ass blown out your sugar hole.
Your ass. So the ass is going to blow out the sugar hole?
Right. Your
So
mouth.
it like an implosion or like...
No. Your sugar hole is your mouth.
You said sugar?
Sugar.
Sugar?
Hole.
I thought you said shitter. Hole.
Sugar.
I'm like, your ass going out your shitter hole. Well, I'm like, well, that's going to be complicated.
I'm pointing. Your sugar hole is
I
here.
thought you were talking about your butthole being your face. And I'm like, yeah, I get it.
No, your butt. Wait. Wait.
Because your face is a butt.
No, I get what you're saying, asswipe.
Because you're a butt face.
Okay, yeah, I get it. It's real funny. Not as funny as getting your butt blown out of your sugar hole, like I originally said.
Shitter hole?
That's what I said.
So next is League of Their Own. And I'm going to cry like a little bit of baby child, I'm sure. And I'll cut it and sound cool. Well, I guess I'm going to go drink some water. I think that's probably a good idea.
That's why I've been drinking that.
Have you?
Yeah, it's cloudy though.
Why does it look like margarita?
It's like Cleveland, that river, it caught on fire. And it turned lime colored.
That's unfortunate. It was going to go on fire. You guys set your ass on fire. As always, this is amazing. Bye, Katrina Porter.
Bye, Anna Serene.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.